Shalom, shalom. Again, shalom, shalom. We give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world inwardly calls Jesus the Christ. The Rakakadash is the Holy Spirit in the Paleo Hebrew. There were honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who grew well and teach well through the Spirit, Lord, that they can continue to endure it and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, teaching his word, to believe in his word, Lord, that they can continue to endure it and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwakim, that are believers of his faith and his truth, Lord, that they will continue to endure it and be sincere. Lord, that they can continue to pursue their lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord, willing to most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in the faith. Hold on one second, family. You see the title of this. Hold on one second. The title of this is Prophecies Shall Be Fulfilled. In the world and the people are doomed. Now, the more you get into reading, the more you get into hearing prophecies, parables, dark sayings, the more you start seeing how the world is moving. It starts to look like it's about to become a reality. And the scripture is on point in every angle. Brothers was speaking at camp today, And there's certain things that brothers were saying, and that made me think of this lesson right here. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to whoever watch it. Lord willing, this is edifying to the sheep, whoever you may be. And Lord willing, you paying attention. So, let's get started. First verse we're going to go to, the whole point of, bringing this out is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14 and 19. I'm going to read 14 and 19 in the G&T, and then we just going to line some precepts to verse 14 and 19, And hey, if any brother hop on and they got some precepts they want to put on, hey, put them up. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control, while ignoring the legitimate government, right? Which is, with the elect under Yahushua. It says there will no longer be free access to the cities, because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, driven by famine and terrible suffering. People will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. Right? People don't really think that, the scriptures in the Bible is real. People don't believe that God is real. Some people believe that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is just all loving hugs and kisses. They don't believe that the Lord is going to come and kill and destroy and put order back in the earth. But the Bible disagrees with that. The Lord is great and he's terrible, right? And the Lord deals with order, right? In every empire captivity, it always had an end. People believe that America is going to rule forever. America is going to be totally destroyed, regardless if you accept it or not. You got people afraid in different cities because they're seeing orbs, but then they say it's UFOs, it's chariots, it's the vehicles of the Heavenly Father, angels, and they visit the earth time and time again. That's Amos chapter 9, verse 8. The Lord's eyes is upon the sinful kingdom, right? In the heavens and through his angels, right? Because all things, especially in the spiritual world, is connected and it abides in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? The next verse I want to go to, just to line this up, is Revelations 11 and 4. Because verse 14, Salaki, verse 14 in 2nd Ezra 15, it said the world and the people in it are doomed. Another word for doomed is woe, right? It's a lot of people they're saying the Bible is on a high sale right now. Since 2020 all the way to 2024, the Bible been selling at a high percentage, right? People are starting to read the Bible. People are starting talking about prophecies. People start talking about Ezekiel. Oh, those the chariots, this and this and that. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is revealing himself, right? This is Revelations chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, the second woe, which woe means doom, is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly, right? That's talking about World War One, World War Two. Now, people might say, oh, that's not saying that in the Bible. The Lord documented everything. Let me get another precept just to show you, if the end is declared from the beginning, the Lord orchestrate what is going on in the world, right? Because this is his creation. The people, the nations, those are his creations, regardless if they're not his chosen. So World War One, World War Two was this. It was prophesied, I believe, in Revelation the 19th chapter about two woes: World War One, World War Two. Right? Those are dooms. Right? In those type of wars, was bombs, missiles. But in ancient history, those was wars too. But these World War I, World War II, it was experiment with new advanced weapons. And World War III, which is going to come quickly, is going to be with ICBM missiles, continent ballistic missiles, regardless if you believe it or not, right? So Isaiah 46, this is not about, for anybody that don't believe, you're going to be destroyed, you know. And for the ones that do believe, you have to prepare yourself, right? You got to constantly upgrade in faith, upgrade in action, because guess what? If we take off from the work that the Lord put in front of us, our faith, our work, our ordering of our household, right, you will be caught and you will be destroyed, right? It's Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Right? In Habakkuk chapter 2, the Lord tell you, even though these prophecies, these correct messages seem long and taking long, they will come to pass. But it's not yet time for them to come to pass. You could read Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 and 3 in the KJV, the NLT, and the GNT, and you'll get hit from the KJV, the NLT, and the GNT, and understand these prophecies have a point in time. A miracle was already on the earth. The only people that was fully living here was the northern kingdom of the nation of Israel. But when Israel, fell away from the ways of the Lord, the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, the Lord brought Esau over here to conquer because he was going to be the last ruler of the earth, regardless if you believe it or not. Revelations tell you that great Babylon, mystery Babylon, right? If you understand the mysteries, mystery Babylon is America, right? This is the horde that sit on that diverse beast. Just like Rome, NATO, and EU, America is established under the same system of Rome, right? Just look at sports, look at TV. The Greeks to Rome, they love entertainment, and they're re-polluting that in the earth, and a lot of people are in a deep sleep. That's why they can't see what's going on. Even Jake, this verse is really towards the Israelites, because you Jake, you Black, Latino, Hispanics, and natives, the Lord put a deep sleep upon you, right? A lot of y'all is entertained by TikTok, YouTube, the television, movies, money, half naked bras. I mean, we're men, we like women, but at the end of the day, all these things was to be your test, but we became to abuse the world. What is it? First Corinthians, the 7th chapter. He tells you use the world, but don't abuse it. I'll get that verse after I get this. This is Isaiah 29, verse 10. It says, "For Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, which is the visionaries, have he covered." Right? These are the forefront of the earth right now. Right? The apostles, the prophets, the men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? They're covered. This is why they're constantly teaching at that door. Right? What did I say I was gonna get? I forgot what I just said, because now I'll just go to it. Yeah, it just came back to my head. So I think it's First Corinthians chapter 12. I want to get just to show you something. First Corinthians chapter 7. I'm gonna show you that the Lord tell you to use the world, but don't abuse it. Right? And a lot of us is abusing this world. Salaki. I think it's in verse 20 something. Salaki family, is it 20? Nope, it's 31. This is First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away, right? We're not here to abuse the world. We're here to use the world, right? Use it, in a righteous aspect. Use it in a way, to provide or to lead your family, right? Of course, you can have a good time and do certain things, but you don't want to overly abuse it. You just want to use it enough, to put a smile on your face. But you really want to dedicate your life to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because look how America is turning out, right? This is First Corinthians, the 12th chapter. I forgot what verse it is. Let me look at my physical. Ain't nothing like having a physical Bible. Yes, verse 28. This is First Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 28. It says, and God have said, let me start at 27. It says, now ye are the body of Hamashiach, and members in particular. And God have set some in the church, right? The church is this ministry. The church is this truth. The church is Israel, right? It says first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healing, helps, governments, and diversities of tongues, right? Different tongues, right? This is the order. These are the pillar that hold the church in order, right? I believe you go to Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Let's see if they got it as a cross reference. I know Ephesians 4 and 11 lets you know, right? Because the apostles, the prophets, the teachers, the evangelists, the bishops, pastors, the elders, they're covered. And where we're not just talking about we're talking about the elect of the elect. Let's see, Ephesians 2. Oh yeah, I'll read. Yeah, I'll read all the way down to Ephesians 4:13. So this is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20. And are built upon the foundation of the apostles and the prophets. Yahushua HaMashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, right? All things run through Hamashiach Yahushua, but the apostles is first, and the prophets, and so on and so on. Ephesians 3 and 5, which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now revealed unto his holy apostles and prophets by the Spirit, right? And it's all by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. When you read the whole 1 Corinthians 12, you understand in order to speak and teach in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's not you, it's the Rakak Wadash, right? Because the Rakak Wadash will teach you all things, right? This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 to 13. It says, he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers, right? This is that order for the perfecting of the saints, right? The faithful, right? The elect of the nation of Israel, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying, of the body of Hamashiach, right? You're building the body of Hamashiach till we all come in the unity, right? Oneness, right? The same mind or agreement of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man and unto the measures of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach. When you go to 1 Corinthians 9 and 16, Paul said, woe to me if I don't teach the good news, right? So if we ain't teaching these prophecies, these parables, and dark sayings, woe is unto us, right? This is the number one important thing, is teaching this word, let alone you want to be able to teach and see how people bump up against it. Oh yeah, right. No, God is all love. Oh, I'm just gonna live my best life and then I'll just wait for the Lord to come. No true believer is just waiting for the Lord to come and you're not doing your work. It's no way possible. You're not paying attention to making six figures or being a millionaire, and you say you got a relationship with the Lord, but as soon as somebody say Yahweh Shema Shai only love the Black, Latino, Hispanics, and natives, you get all defensive and you don't even know what the scriptures is saying. When somebody asks you what does Revelations 11 verse 8 to 11 go into, what is 3.5 days? Is that really going into days or years? Right? You don't understand if Esau is still in the earth, right? How can we have a relationship? To have a relationship with the Lord, you must know your partner. If you have a relationship with a girl or a man, you should know things they like and things that they don't like. You should be able to observe and study them. That's how you know you have a relationship with the Heavenly Father and the Son. You know what they like, you know what they don't like. You know the history of why the children of Israel or the people of God chosen people are in captivity, which is in the scriptures. If you have a relation with the Lord, you will be able to know. You will be able to say it. In this day, if you have a relation with the Lord, you're going to say that the nation, the children of Yahweh Shem Shai, are oppressed by a people. And if you have a relationship with the Lord, you're going to say why they're oppressed. And to be oppressed is not just a hokey dokey pokey. This is a sad thing which we deserve, and it all leads to our past. That's how you know you have a relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai. Not no hill toe. Oh, I go to church every Sunday, but you doing Christmas. You got a relationship with the Lord, and you're doing Christmas. Don't even know Christmas go all the way back to the Babylonians, and it's pagan. You got a relationship with the Lord, but you're doing Halloween, and that go all the way back to witches and warlocks. You got a relationship with the Lord, and you're doing Thanksgiving, which celebrates the massacres of the indigenous Indians that was in America. Make it make sense. You got a relationship with the Lord, and you're doing Easter. It's only Easter one time in the Bible, and that's a clerical error, because when you go trace that word Easter, because it's in Greek in the New Testament, you trace it back from Greek, is going to say Pazak, which is Hebrew for Passover. Jesus, Yahweh Shai, never did Easter. He did Passover. Yahweh Shai birthday is not in the winter. It's not around Christmas, right? But how do we have a relationship with the Lord and we saying these things, right? So this is Romans 11:8. It says, according as it is written, God hath not given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day, right? The Lord put this upon the children of Israel, a deep sleep. This is why Jake is so hard for them to get it. I know a lot of men or women that's paying attention to things that they want to do more than focusing on Yahweh Shem Shai. It's a lot of Black, Latino, Hispanics, and natives that's paying attention to their nails, going out, the celebrity, Travis Hunter, freaking freak offs, Diddy, right? The game, right? How many girls you got? How many niggas you hopped on OnlyFans? And not none of these people is lining they getting themselves ready for prophecies to be fulfilled. People really think America gonna last forever, but when you go in these scriptures, it tells you that America or Mystery Babylon is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes. A lot of you niggas can't even buy a plane ticket. And if you do buy a plane ticket, right, when these news drop, planes, it takes damn near an hour or so before these planes take off. And when this time come off, when these missiles come, ain't nobody gonna be able to get on any plane unless you take that MOTB. Because y'all not lining yourself up with prophecies. This is why I titled Prophecies Shall Be Fulfilled. The world and the people are doomed. You're doomed when this MOTB comes. You're doomed when Jacob's trouble comes. You're doomed when the famine of the word between those two times, right? When race war comes, you're doomed when those nukes drop. If you're not abiding in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you are doomed. And every time somebody is teaching the 100% truth of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you have to look at it as a warning. I'm not here saying I'm the best. I'm not here saying that I'm the elect. Shoot, I say the hopeful elect. I'm hoping that I am of that number. But to be of the children of the Lord, you must work, right? Let me get this side precept. I think it's 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter. People just think faith is, oh, I believe, and then you just do what you want. The faith that you have in the Lord is going to cause you to move, right? It's 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. In order to walk, you have to make action. Make it make sense. In order to it says, for we walk by faith. So that means you're making the action in this thing. In this world, you have to move by faith, right? Off of hearing this word, right? Applying this word, right? Meditating on the word, right? Praying to Yahweh Shem Shai on the words that you read, that Lord willing, please allow me to be of this number. Yahweh Shem Shai, please allow me to overcome the enemies. Please allow me to overcome this flesh, right? All these things of this faith is an action. You know, the Lord tell you, thy sluggard, study the ant, you lazy. Why would he say that if you could just sit and say, I believe in the Lord and just sit down? No, because it's way deeper than that. You know, or the whole history of the scriptures, you was studying, you was hearing the word of the Lord, right? A brother just said, armies are surrounding Jerusalem right now. Iran is ready to send missiles, right? Hey, and that's beautiful. That means the brother is watching. You know, the brother is clearly watching. You know, let's see. What is it? Uh, Actually, I'm gonna go to Habakkuk just because the brother just said that. What the heck? So, like your family. I don't know why I did that. We can go to Habakkuk chapter 2 because the brother just said armies are surrounding Jerusalem right now. Iran is ready to send missiles, right? I'm gonna read the first verse in the NLT so you can hear it in a more plain way, right? What does it say? It says, I will climb up to my watchtower and stand at my guard post. There will I wait to see what Yahweh says and how he will answer my complaint, right? You got to know the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers of his word, they're the watchtower. They're observing what's going on, man. Right? You got to know the blood is on our hand if we see the sword coming and we don't warn y'all. Right? I think that's Ezekiel 33. I believe it's Ezekiel 33. Yep. Ezekiel 33 in verse 2, it says, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Isaiah 58 and 1. Cry aloud and spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. You know, the prophets is using their voice, right? You ain't going to no damn building to a church. Now that's different if you're having class, but the men of the Lord are in the highways and byways, and they're using the unicorn, which is this web, this internet, and they're pushing the ministry as much as they can in the highways and byways and doing a sit down just like I'm doing right now, right? Because right now, uh, whoever, because it could be multiple people watching videos in other places. Just imagine when you go on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Look at all these other videos that's being pushed out in the world. This is a battle, man. People really don't understand it's a battle going on. So if I'm doing a video, another brother doing a video, and say if it's only 5 people in the whole United States or in the whole world, 5 people doing videos of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai destroying and war and this and that. And everybody else outside of 5 people, everybody else is watching TV, watching movies, watching a booty call, watching freaking sports, or I'm watching soccer, I'm watching Kai Sinet. You can tell that we're in a battle and everybody else is asleep, you know, and this is how the Lord set it up. Everybody is not going to have a desire to hear the word of the Lord. Everybody is going to make themselves busy or they're going to make excuses. That's Luke, the 14th chapter. Everybody, so many people are making excuses. Why they not hearing the word? Why they not preparing for prophecy? Oh, the Lord not coming yet. I still got some time. People really believe that this word ain't real. Some people say they do believe, but their action shows that they don't believe it. Because if you really believe, you will make your calling and election sure daily, right? So the It says, verse 2 again, Ezekiel 33 and 3, Salaki, Ezekiel 33 and 3. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. When so Then whensoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. See? So the ones that's not listening to the trumpet, you're going to be destroyed. Your blood is going to be on your own hand because you're ignoring the warning. But now say if you hear the warning, you're going to deliver your soul. The scriptures is not just a loving book. It's a loving book when the children of Yahweh Shemashai, the children of Israel, is delivered from their enemies and from their captivity and from this veiled flesh. That's where you know real salvation is, when you're not in this veiled body no more, when you're in a glorified body, when you're delivered from captivity. Like, we all got money. Some people got more. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not trying to be, right? I got a few dollars. I got credit cards. You know, when you go in the scriptures, anybody that's on your dollar bill is super scripture. This is an example of understanding that you are under servitude. You are a slave, man, right? Starting with the children of Israel and anybody else that's in this empire. If you get taxed, if you're giving tribute to somebody that's making your money, you got a job, you are oppressed. When you are being taxed, you are oppressed by the ones that is taxing you. Oh, I don't get no taxes. Then who the hell is you? You know? And if you ain't getting taxed, my question is for you, do you have a bunker? My question for you, do you have a space station in the sky? My question for you is um why are you on the grid, right? Because when you look at the higher elites, where people say Rothschilds, the Morgans, and all these so and so, the higher elites, you don't see them on social media. You don't see them pop up in the news. They don't flash their money. They don't make themselves known. That's real power when you secretive. Bill Gates, he's a puppet. Elon Musk, a puppet. Donald Trump, a puppet. Joe Lyon is a puppet. All these people that can be seen as a puppet, right? Sukiana, she's a puppet. You know, niggas flashing their money, putting money all on it. They are a puppet, because to really be a ruler, you're going to be unseen, right? This is blowing the trumpet, warning you. You are oppressed people, right? You got low class Edomites, the white woman, the Elam, the East Indians, the Chinese, the Africans. They're oppressed too, right? Soon as you're moving money in a currency, soon as you got to follow certain laws, soon as you got to have a license or an ID or insurance or a passport, you are being conquered, because the higher ups made these rules of having a passport. You know, when you get your work check, they taking certain health taxes out of your check already. You're paying for cops. You're paying for prisons. You know, they don't ask you this. They already take it. You know, back then the word employer was called servant. Now they took the word from servant and now you're called an employer. Wait, or no, an employee. You know, this is the trumpet, right? Let me get another one. Ezekiel 33 and 6, it says, but if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, right? If we're not prophesying, if we're not bringing forth the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, which we see the sword, we see the ICBM missiles, right? The continent ballistic missiles. We see them, right? We see the MOTB, right? Because that's going to be a weapon against, you know, the people of the world and the children of Israel, right? That's a weapon. If we don't blow the trumpet, the people be not warned. If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require. His blood will I require at the watchman's hand, right? So say if I'm just sitting here and I know these understandings, or I know these precepts, I know these breakdowns, and I'm not blowing the trumpet, your blood is going to be on my hand. It's just like Pastor T.D. Jakes, It's just like Kurt Franklin. It's just like Joe Osteen. All these other little teachers, the pastor that's down in the hood on the west side, the east side, right, all the way in Alabama. All of these other pastors, if they're not bringing out these prophecies and they're just bringing love, baptize love, and they're not giving you the terror of the Lord, they're not really blowing the trumpet. They just trying to make you feel good. But you need to hear that the Lord is a man of war. The day of the Lord is dark. You know, a lot of people watch I Am Legend. A lot of people watch Dawn of the Dead or Resident Evil. A lot of people watch the movie, The Book of Eli, right? But understanding that those things is a depiction of what's going to happen in the near future. But in the near future, it's going to be way worse than what you see in the movie because this is real life. What we're living is real life. So I'm going to go back to Second Ezra's. I'm going to read 14:15 again. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near, right? That war is World War III, right? That little war with Ukraine, that's a mini war, right? We talking about that World War III in Revelation 11:4, right? The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. This is going to really happen. It's going to be a huge wave. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, and we're going to read verse 1, and then I'm going to drop down to verse 10. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 38. On the top, it says prophecy about Gog in future invasion of Israel, right? Really talking about the people, right? Because it's a future prophecy. It says the word of Yahweh came unto me saying, right? So this is the word that came unto Ezekiel to tell Israel, verse 10, thus saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come to thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, right? When you go back up to Ezekiel 38:2, what evil thought? Who's going to have an evil thought? Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which is talking about Rome, right? I mean, not Rome, Salaki, talking about Russia, right? The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, right? Even more, you got what is it? It's another one, Ezekiel, I think 35, where the Lord tell him to prophesy against Mount Seir, right? You got the higher release we prophesying against, and then you got Russia that we prophesying against, right? So this moment, when they get that evil thought, they're gonna press that button, right? Russia is going to try to bomb, Babylon. They're not gonna try, they're actually gonna do, you know. America gonna be destroyed, man. And I live in America. So I'm not trying to tell you something that sounds fugazi. It might sound fugazi to you, but I live in America, and I'm saying what it says in the scriptures that Mystery Babylon, aka America, is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes. There's nothing we can do except for serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Is it 34? Hold on. Let me I got a brother on the comment section. Put it up there. Uh, I believe, yeah, I know, yeah, it's in Ezekiel. Yeah, 35. I probably was too busy, probably talking too much. Yes, Salaki. Yeah, I was in the zone. So, and the topic says prophesy against Mount Seir, right? Because you have two different Egyptians. Isaiah chapter 19, you got the Russian Edomite Egyptians, and then you have the Juju beings, the Jewish Edomites, the Caucasian Edomites over here in America, and the Europeans, right? Ezekiel 35:1, it says, moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Right? Esau is not ruling in Mount Seir. Right? His three heads, like he got seven heads when you go to Revelation 17, but the three major parts of this head, is the military, right? Their finance and their religion, which you go to the Vatican, London, and America. America for military, London, Paris, and all of that for finance, and the Vatican for religion, right? And they're established in their seven Edomite heads. When you go to Revelations, the 17th chapter, and Daniel, the 7th chapter, and then it has 10 horns, which is the NATO and EU, right? The seven Edomite heads, plus the whore that's on that diverse beast is Greek, Germany major, minor, the French, the Spanish, Britain, and Rome. Those are the seven Edomite heads, plus the eight, which is America, and they're all as one, you know, and then the 10 horns, which are allies to America, you know, Russia and they allies are not connected to that beast. Only thing that, Russia is connected is that they're Edomites too, right? So Mount Seir is the ones that's actually ruling the earth, getting money from both sides of war. The war with Russia, Ukraine, the war with America and Russia, whatever war is going on the earth, the top elite is betting on each side. They making money off of that chaos, right? They even provide money in missiles and the the equipment that they need to make these destructive weapons, right? It says, say unto it, thus saith Yahweh Shemashai power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Right? What place, when we go into prophecy, is going to be desolate? America and Israel. Other places going to get hit with nukes, but what's going to be desolate where you can't live? When you go to, what is it, Isaiah 13 and Isaiah 34, or Isaiah 13, I think like the last few verses, it tell you that, that Babylon is going to be desolate. And even in Isaiah 34, only like serpents, lizards, Komodo dragons, certain vultures are going to come back to this land and eat off of, dead flesh, dead bodies that's going to still be remained, right? It says, I will lay thy city waste. Thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because when we go back to Malachi, didn't he destroy them when they was building before? Yes. And then what did he say in verse 4? Even though I am impoverished, I shall go and build the desolate places. The Lord already know that as soon as they fell for that little period, after that 1,000-year period, they rose again. And right now, those Edomites are ruling the earth, regardless if you believe it or not. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Right? When you go to Revelation 6 and 4, it shows you that the red horse has a great sword. And when you go to Genesis 27, Esau is blessed with a sword, and just not just one sword. Sword just goes for weapon. So in all his history timeline, he was blessed with the sword, with a weapon. Salaki. In the Greek, in Rome, in America, they had their great weapons. But in this time in America, in the world, they're having the best weapon in all throughout all history. They're able to make fire and brimstone just like in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, just with man-made devices that can go from continent to continent. That's why I titled this "The World and the People Are Doomed," right? Because if you're not getting it right, especially in America, those nukes, damn near 200 million is going to be sent here. because Satan 1 and 2 can carry about what, almost 8 to 10 warheads, and that's talking about the missile breaking off, and then it falls down, and it can go into multiple spots and cause huge, huge, massive damage, right? So Salaki on that, let's just go to Revelations, the 17th chapter, and I'm gonna read 16 to 19. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. In the 10 horns, which is NATO and EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which is talking about America. America is that whore, right? America is that whore country, right? It let everybody in, let all different philosophies, the land of the free, the land of the brave. This is that whore. It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? Only America is going to be totally destroyed in the earth. It says, for God have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. Right? It's talking about the 10 horns, plus what we read in Ezekiel 38. Right? When Russia pressed that button, they're doing the will of the Lord. When I read Habakkuk chapter 2, I was telling y'all, go read Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 and 3, and you'll see that it says that this is for a point in time, right? And it's going to happen at its appointed of time. And guess what? If they got these missiles right now, all they got to do is press the button. But nobody on the earth can do anything unless it was sanctioned from the heavens. You know, people murdering, people doing this, doing that. That was all sanctions from the heaven, on either on the left hand side or the right hand side. You know, everybody be thinking they got free will. You don't. Like, if you get this truth, that's all the Lord. If you don't get this truth, that's all the Lord. That's why a lot of us fall into diverse things in the world. This is why more spirits is put on people. Matthew 12, verse 43 to 45, right? Is because your heart is not within your mind. It's not within Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is why different demons on the left-hand side, different spirits cleave unto you, and you do things that's unrighteous, or do things that a lazy person would do things that people that don't have faith do. You know, people really think they got free will. Like, you really don't. The things that you do in your life that was planned, it was already written in your script to do this and to do that, right? It says, for God have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. See, the Lord put it in your mind to fulfill his will, right? It doesn't matter if it's unrighteous or righteous. Everybody has a script. We're playing a real movie. It says to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, which is this, this Edomite beast, right? Because a beast can be a king, a political power, right, or a kingdom, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over kings of the earth, right? Because this whore is reigning over the 7 heads, the other 7 kingdoms or 7 governments, and NATO and EU, right? It's ruling over. And being called a great city is symbolic to what Jonah was calling Nineveh, that great city. The Lord said, cry against that great city. The great city is America. Every nation wants to come to America. Every nation it's multiple nations that hate America. America push sports. America push this. America push that. America is the bully of the earth. Let's get Matthew 24. Shalom, brother Ephraim Ban Yasharala. Shalom, Yahabash Mashai Rakatham. Right. So this Matthew 24:7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right? We only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Every time when an empire was about to end, the Lord sent out his prophets and things got worse. When you go to Ezekiel, the 7th chapter, what did the Lord tell Moses? You're going to be a God to Pharaoh, and Aaron is going to be a prophet. Soon as they start coming up to, to Israel and telling them, hey, the Lord gonna deliver you, and then going to Pharaoh, let my people go. And when he didn't, the Lord brought one plague after another. So now the Lord been raising up the prophets ever since America got established, starting at 1776. But we started waking up in 1960s or the late 1950s. This place been flipping around on hopscotch, right? Because of the teaching. And the more we grow in the spirit, the more stronger the Lord is putting on the men of the Lord just by teaching. Ephesians 6 and 17. Our weapon is this spiritual sword. That's why through the spirit that no nation can really fuck with us, right? Because it's all by prophesying, man. This is the number one dangerous thing in the world. No gun, no missile. The number one thing is prophesying, man. Right? Until the Lord, give his elect that glorified body and that power. This Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says, the prophet that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries, which America is a country, against great kingdoms. America is a great kingdom of war. Taiwan, Korea, right? All these other places is having a little war. And eventually it's going to turn to third world war, right? It says of evil and of pestilence. That pestilence, yes, it can go into the COVID, right? The vacky, and it can go into these missiles, man. Right? Every prophet before this time been doing the same thing we doing now. You know, people, you have I seen drug dealers saying, man, we living in the last days, man. The prophets, America said it's gonna be destroyed. It's even gangsters that know this, right? Of course, they're not making their calling election sure, but the Lord is allowing people to see what's being seen in the world. Like they kept saying that they're banning TikTok. TikTok is still in motion right now, and you can go watch Channel 7 News, Channel 2. They ain't telling you nothing because they have a script. But you could go on you can go on Redacted on YouTube. You can go to John Harrison, which is a real journalist that travel and make his podcast and put news on there that they don't show you in United States. So the Lord is pouring his spirit out to allow things to be confessed. Some people don't know for the full deep of what they're saying because they're not going in the scriptures, right? This is Hebrews 1:1, just to back up the prophets. It says, God, who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. If we say the Lord don't change, the Lord is not changing from telling his prophets to go to the highways and byways to beg people to the marriage, right? Until Yahweh Shai come back, the prophets, the apostles, the evangelists, the servants of the Lord is back on the earth prophesying, right? I'm gonna give you another prophecy, a little quick one. Revelations, the 18th chapter, verse 20. If the prophet's not on the earth, why would he say this in the book of Revelations, right? Revelations 18 and verse 20. It says, rejoice over her. This is after the destruction of Babylon, right? From 9 to 20, this is the mourn or the lament for Babylon, right? People are going to mourn because America is being destroyed. They love Egypt. They love their bondage, right? Revelations 18:20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. If the prophets is not back on the earth, how is the Lord avenging the apostles and the prophets on her if they're not here? If they was not in America, ever in America, and they was in Rome, they was in all these other places, why would he avenge them here? Make it make sense, because the prophets is back on the earth. Some of them is in the spirit world, right? But the teachers is on the earth, right? The 144,000, they're on the earth, right? Not some of them is in the spirit world, just like the other elect, the 1/3. Some of them is in the spirit world, and right, a few is still on earth, right? Let's get Isaiah 19 and 2, right? This is going into Egyptian against Egyptian. Because eventually Esau about to have that nigga spirit. How you got African American against African American or African against Puerto Rico. Oh, I don't like Puerto Ricans, man. And we go right in the hood and go shoot these niggas or go shoot a Crip, go shoot a Blood. You know, Esau gonna do the same thing. Why you look at Russia, Russia and America. The elites is having both sides go at each other, right? Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom, right? This is not talking about ancient Egyptians, but as symbolic, who ruled in Egypt? A pharaoh. So it's saying Egyptian against Egyptian. So who's the rulers of today? Edomites, regardless if you accept it or not. America, right, on their side, and then Russia on their side, right? And it's going to be Egyptian against Egyptian. Even more on another level, the higher up elite, if you got to think some of the elites probably could be betting on Russia because they make money off of war, right? And you got another one that's probably betting on the ones of America. Go watch the movie Trading Places. Two of these rich Edomites was betting on Eddie Murphy and the one dude. How about we switch their role? He become poor and he become rich. Let's see who can make it or not. And then eventually Eddie Murphy found out that they was gambling on both of them. Make it make sense. So if they showing that in the movie that these high rich people is betting against each other, how much more is the elite on this side? They're not just all on one side. Yes, they still together, just like Democrat and Republic. They just got two different names, but they all are under one rulership, right? They're both under one rulership, one leader, right? Under the elites, right? So you got multiple examples of the Egyptian against the Egyptians, right? Um, let's go back to Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. I'll read 15 again. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government, right? The legitimate government, the lawful government is under Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world inly calls Jesus, right? His government is the 12 apostles and 144,000, right? But we're not in our power to rule right now, right? But you got all these nations trying to fight over control. China says when America falls, because China know, they said when America fall, we're gonna rule next. You got mad other nations trying to beg when America totally fall, that they're gonna rule next, but that don't line up with prophecy. When that mystery Babylon is destroyed, Yahushua is going to rule, and his government that's on his shoulders is going to rule under his power, right? So just to show an example of one group trying to overpower another to gain control, that goes to Revelations, the 13th chapter, right? And First Maccabees, but this right here is going to be the starting thing. Like as an example, you do have nations trying to overpower one another right now. But in a minute, they're going to push this agenda of this charagma, and the whole world is going to have to get it. So literally, if the whole world get it, it has to be one mindset, one ruler ruling the earth. Right now, it's kind of divided. If Russia is making a little Bitcoin and they over here making this, and then they over here making that, the whole world is still divided. But eventually, they're going to try to put the world under that order of Antiochus in the First Maccabees, the first chapter. So this is Revelations 13, 16, and 18. Again, 16 to 18 is a physical mark. M-A-R-K. This is not spiritual. This is not sin. Yeah, well, it is a sin to take it, but it's not sin. It is a literal physical mark. This charagma is a physical mark. A physical mark. Physical mark. And if you can comprehend words, you should be able to understand it just by reading it. It says, and he causeth all which is we're talking about the second beast that came out of the sea. He calls of all both great, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? Low class, great class, rich class, poor class, free, that's in this world, and in bond, that's in jail, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now it's going to explain more. It says, in that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast of the number of his name. So in order for you to be in this system, in order for you to buy and sell, you have to have the mark. Let's read it in the NLT. You know, so like in the NLT, it says no one could buy or sell anything without the mark. Let's read that one more time. Revelations 13, verse 16 in the NLT. Verse 17 in the NLT. No one could buy or sell anything without the mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number presenting his name, right? In the NIV, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark. The ESV, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, right? You can keep going on different translation. It keeps saying in. You can't buy and sell unless you have the mark. The NET, the Net Bible, it says thus, no one was allowed to buy or sell things unless he bore the mark of the beast. And yeah, you can keep going to different trends and you'll still see that it's keep talking about you can't buy and sell unless you took this mark, right? And just for edification's sake, I'm gonna show you what mark is in Revelations, because when you look up the homology or the interlinear of a word, the New Testament was written in Greek, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, and you just trace it back to its original language and find the meaning of that word, is going to give you the true meaning of it, right? So it's charagma. It's saying the mark is a charagma, right? And a charagma is a physical mark, you know. In the name of the beast, when you go into the 666, you got to go look that up too. High size stigma. Stigma is a physical mark, a physical puncture, right, in the flesh. You can go look it up for yourself. Stigma, STIGMA. Go to homology.com and look up the word stigma. It's going to be a physical puncture in the body. So charagma is a stamp or an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right? It's many Antichrists, but it's really being anti-Hamashiach, where you're against Hamashiach Yahushai, everything that consists of him. And the number one person that's against Yahweh Shai is Esau on this side and other nations. So they're not going to use a tattoo, right? Because a tattoo, how are you going to keep a memory? How are you going to track unless you scan a tattoo? How are they going to do it? They're going to use electronic. They're going to use the technology that we have in this world right now. I know some people that can go like this and clap on their light. I know some people that can just use their phone and turn on their light, turn on their TV. Shoot, you right now, I can remote restart my car right now. You know what I'm saying? Right? You got all different technology in this world. You got people pressing buttons to get in their house, right? You got hand fingerprint for doors to open, right? You got Tesla cars driving by themselves. They got a new Tesla car, which is a Tesla taxi, and you don't drive at all, no steering wheel at all, right? Technology is what you're seeing in this verse. Because how do we buy and sell right now? You either get you a few dollars, you either get you credit cards, and you swipe it or you tap it, or you can use your phone and tap it, boop, or you can buy online. How is that hard to see and understand that, man? Very plain. Right? Back then, you were getting branded in the physical to remind somebody who you belong to, or who who you belong to. Or if you was a runaway, you would be branded, and then they would know just by that brand or that mark. But then you had physical mark, which is on a coin or a dollar bill. And back in even in Rome, when Yahushua said, who's in the superscription, right? Reward Caesar what is Caesar, right? This is a brand, Salaki family. See? Okay. Salaki. This is a brand. Now y'all can't see it. Now, if you got a quarter, a dime, or a nickel, or a penny in your house, that is a brand. This is a mark, you know, of oppressor or a leader, right? And this is what rulers did. They imprinted, somebody of success, somebody that they wanted on a coin, right? The brother Ephraim ben Yasharallah said, you can ask Alexa to order that grocery list you made from Walmart that tied to your CC, and then be notified when your order is ready. Come on, that's technology, man. I can go right now and tell my phone and say, Siri. Mm-hmm. See? Siri. Hmm? What is the mark of the beast? It's saying the mark of the beast is the name of the beast, of the number of his name. That, but that's just I'm just showing technology, right? So we can't just look and say that this is sin or this is spiritual, right? Because it's very plain just by reading it. So at the end of the day, if we see how society going, they're going to catch a lot of jake with these things. That's why the title of this video, The World and the People Are Doomed. If you're not having your eyes open, you're going to be caught in the hour of temptation. Let's go to Revelation, the 3rd chapter, verse 10. Right? Through the Spirit, the Lord tells us in Matthew 10 and 28, don't fear what man can do unto you, but fear him that can kill both soul and body, right? So when we go into Revelations 13 again, if you don't worship the image or the image of the beast or take his mark, you will be put to death. Revelations 20 and 4 shows you. And the Heavenly Father tell you, if you do take it, you'll be destroyed. Revelations 14, 9 and 10. Right? So really, you have to stand on F that MOTB. I'm trying to follow with the Lord. And look, you could be somebody right now that's not following this faith, and they saying they ain't gonna take the Karagma. Now that's cool. Now, if you have the confidence you're not gonna take it, it's more than just saying you ain't gonna take the Karagma. You need to get back into the knowledge of the Lord, because it can be some people that's of our nation that's not gonna take it, and they're still gonna be destroyed because they truly didn't believe in the Lord. There's levels to this, man. This is Revelations 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from our temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. When we read in Revelations 13, it says rich, poor, great, small, free and bond, they were all demanded to take this charagma, take this mark. So the whole world is going to be pushed to trying to take this, right? Verse 11, it says, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast to which thou hast, that no man take thy crown, right? The elect of the children of Israel, the children of Yahweh Shem Shai, they're holding on their crown, right? Because they have faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. Man, F this system. This is why I always say, do not get attached to the things of this world. Because you get attached to the things of this world. Oh, I got 60 million. I got 100,000 in the bank. Then they push this charagma. A lot of people, oh my goodness, what I'm going to do. That's where if you had a relationship with the Lord, this is where your faith kick in. But some people gonna say, I believe in the Lord. I know He's gonna love me still. I'm gonna take this Quran because I'm gonna provide for my kids. You really don't believe in the Lord because the scriptures say you shouldn't be taking it at all. Literally, you know, to really say you love your kids, you ain't gonna take it. And if you taking it, I bet you was not teaching your kids what the Lord said about this Quran, right? People always saying, I'm doing Christmas, I'm doing Halloween for the kids. I want to keep the kids innocent. No, don't you know when you do holidays, you ain't keeping the kids innocent? You putting the kids into sin because that's paganism. You putting the kids into sin, right? That is straight paganism. Trying to save the kids' innocence. Have you even taught your kids where these holidays come from? No, I didn't, but I'm just trying to keep their innocence. You're not keeping their innocence at all. You lying to your kid when you talk about Santa Claus and not teaching them that Santa Claus or Saturnalia was a LGB little thing with men and boys. There was a little freaky thing. Valentine's. It was a freaky thing. And it's about Mr. Valentine's. Right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Salaki. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2 in the NLT. I just wanted to read this because in the KJV it says, ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as ye were led. In the NLT it says, you know that when you were still pagans, you were led astray and swept along in worshiping speechless idols. Right? Paganism or pagan, yes, you're worshiping false deities, let alone pagan can go into false worships or false holidays, right? Pagan, you doing Christmas, you're a part of paganism because that really leads to Saturnalia, right? Which is something, another festival of worshiping, right? A brother said, belief in Hamashiach supersedes any evil spirit. So I focus on teaching kids the power of Hamashiach. Well, I wouldn't. Hey, you can do that, but the Lord tell. We can go to it. The Lord don't tell us just to teach your kids about Hamashiach. You gotta. Yahushua comes in a whole volume of the book. You got to teach your kids everything, especially a son. You want to teach your son everything because eventually he's going to become a man. You want to teach your daughter everything because what if your daughter became a grown woman and she lay with a man, right? You will want your daughter to have a God-fearing man. But if you just teach them Yahushai, the Lord tell us to teach our kids the law, right? This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 3. It says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, before his friends he shall rejoice of him, right? And the brother Ephraim just said it plainly, the whole role. We have to teach our kids the whole role, right? I got kids right now, but they sleep right now. All my kids, from my sons, all my daughters, they know the name of the Lord. All my kids know that World War III, America gonna be totally destroyed. If you teach all your kids about Yahushai, which you should teach them, and only that, and you ain't teach them about World War III, you're doing the same thing with somebody that's doing Christmas and all these other holidays and ain't teaching them where it comes from. So when you say, oh, just teach the kids of the power of Hamashiach, and say if you only teach them about the power of Hamashiach, and not one time you're not teaching them nothing about where Christmas comes from, where that's paganism. A lot of things that's written in the New Testament was referenced from the Old Testament. Us moving like Gentiles. That means nations, but a Gentile is somebody that does paganism or somebody that's ungodly. And a lot of Israelites were moving ungodly and they were following paganism. So literally, Deuteronomy chapter 6, you should be teaching your kids. Better yet, we can just let the Bible speak. You got to teach your kids the whole Bible. as much as you can. It's 365 days in a year in America calendar. Yeah, see, the brother Ephraim said, a lack of knowledge leads to fear, right? Come on, man. And the Lord said, if we reject him, he's gonna reject our children. That's even more why you should teach your kids this. And you want to teach your kids the past. Why are we? What if my kids ask me, why are we in captivity? Come on, man. That makes me smile that my kids said that. You know, Deuteronomy 6:7, it says, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou arisest up. Right? Because even when you go into the law, statutes, and commandments, it's prophecies in the law, statutes, and commandments that pertain to the end times, right? I'm just doing this because the brother made a comment, which is a fine comment. You know, the brother said something that was fine. There ain't nothing wrong with what he said, but just for edification's sake, it's some Jake up here that just some Jake off the camera, on the camera that will believe. Let's just teach the New Testament. You know what? Let's just teach the law. You know what? Let's just teach the prophets. You know what? Let's not teach the Bible at all, but let's just believe. The Lord don't say that. I don't see that anywhere. But Deuteronomy 48, verse 1, then Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So when you really go into Genesis 49, even though it pertained to that time, but it pertained to the end times, especially when you deal with Gad, when you deal with Reuben, when you deal with Simeon and Levi, like in the time that we're in right now, Simeon and Levi in ancient time, they were hooked together. They was latched on. But because of what they did to the nation of Shem Kim, the Lord penalized them, and they was going to be a instrument of cruelty, and they're really against each other in this time. Look at Judah. Judah is the lawgiver out of the whole 12 tribes, but the Lord didn't call them a priest. But under Yahushai, who the world calls Jesus, Judah is the lawgiver. He's the one that the Lord woke up first in this thing. That's in prophecy. You understand? So I believe what the scriptures say, if Yahushai come in a whole volume of the book, you should be teaching your kids the whole volume of the book. Because it's very important that your kids hear the whole volume of the book. Because if your kids don't hear the whole volume of the book, our kids can make excuses, and I highly doubt any one of us want our kids to make excuses to why this and why that, right? So like I'm trying to think. My phone. Let me see if this works. The Lucky family. Yeah, maybe it might not. Yeah. Praise the Lord, brother. I don't disagree with you at all. Come. Teach kids that you should only celebrate what's in the Bible just because they will have it one day. Right? Come. You teach your kids when they are old enough to know what the things are. That's like teaching a 5-year-old. Right. Right. So Global, and we got that. We touched on that. Eventually my other phone is gonna die, but that's totally fine with me. I wanted to read something. Yeah, I wanted to read something. I'm gonna go to First Maccabees chapter 1 because we read about the MOTB, and it was talking about when we went to Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, which I'm gonna probably bring back up. I'm gonna try to bring that back up. First Maccabees chapter 1. We were reading Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16, where it says, there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And First Maccabees chapter 1 in verse 42, it tells you, and everyone shall believe his laws, and all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the kings. Now, before I go, I don't know whoever watched this video now or later, I want you to know that the Maccabees is the history of the Israelites before they got into the captivity of the Romans, right? And that's prophesied in Daniel, the 7th chapter, which is the third beast before Rome, and in Daniel, the 8th chapter, right? So First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 43, it says, yeah, many also, no, Salaki, I'm gonna start at 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, right? This just goes with Second Ezra 15, one group trying to overpower another and gain control. Now, this is going to be a trump card, not a Donald Trump card, but this is going to be a trump card where the high elite are going to agree to that digital currency. Because that right now, when you look at society now and what they've been talking on certain YouTube platforms, that if they went 100% digital, it would be able to track money flow. It would be able to stop scammers and false identity, identity theft, right? It would stop all of that. They'll be able to track where money is going and where money is coming from, you know. So that's even more. The brother Ephraim just put brick. They're even going in their little digital. Sweden or Switzerland, they only 2% use cash and credit cards in Sweden. The rest are using digital payment, palm reading, face recognition, or mobile device pay. Everybody, the only few, 2% is using cash, right? The rest is using digital payment. So eventually, Revelations 13 is just symbolic to what happened in the Greek captivity. But in this time, is going to be greater because the whole world is moved by digital. Bitcoin was one of the biggest digital movements, So yeah, that we should all be one people and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to commandments of the king. What we read in Revelations 13, when you go to 15, we would have to worship his image. Hold on, let me go there. I don't want to butcher it. Just so we can see this is the same as the Greek captivity. The rulers that be, starting with Esau, is going to try to do the same thing. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. What is happening now happened already. You go read that for yourself. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15 in the KJV and in the NLT. Right? This is Revelations 13:15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? This new world order, if you don't worship this beast new image and take his mark, you're going to be killed. The same thing that happened in the Greek captivity, that all should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandments of the king. Yet many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Shabbat. Right? I'm going to drop down because I want to show you if anybody did not follow it was put to death. Right? Verse 50. I'll start at 49. It says, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinance. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said should die. Right? So if you don't do the way of this king in the Greek captivity, which is Antiochus Epiphanes, you will be put to death. So the same thing is being said in Revelations 13, verse 15. Isn't that a coinkydink? right? If you're not worshiping the image of the beast, you shall be killed. If you don't take the mark, you're gonna die, right? If you don't take it, you're gonna die, man. But the Lord tell you, we must suffer for his sake, to get the kingdom is long suffering. So anybody that take it on this side, the Lord said you're going to get the fire and brimstone. Some of us is gonna have to die just because we're saying, no, I'm not taking it. And they're the elites or the rulers that be are going to be mad that you ain't gonna want to be in a system. If they catch you, they're gonna try to cut your head off, which some of the elect men are going to be martyred. And I'll show that. Let's let God be true and every man a liar. Revelations chapter 20 and verse 4. This did not happen yet. Some people teach that this happened. This did not happen yet. This did not happen yet. Revelations 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Talking about the 12 apostles. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness, right? The report of Yahushai and of the word of God, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years, right? Because some is going to die, for this ministry, right? For the name and for the word of God. And they're going to reign with Yahushua. Guess what? Even the ones that endure to the end, the ones that don't take the charagma and the elites in them is trying to look for them and they don't find them. Because when the Lord come back, the ones that died in his name is going to come back with him. And the ones that still living on the earth, they're going to get beamed up. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15 and 17. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 48 to 54. Right? You go read that, and that shows you the ones that die in the name of the Lord, they're going to be in the heavens with Yahushua. When he returns, they're going to come with him, right? And then the ones that's on the earth that stand 10 toes down in his ministry are going to get beamed up in those those orbs that y'all seeing in the earth. Those are chariots. It says it in the scriptures that he call them whirlwind, he calls them clouds. The Lord says that his eyes is upon the sinful kingdom. The Lord has his angels flying all through the earth. Go read I think it's 2 Kings the 6th chapter. Yeah, go read 2 Kings the 6th chapter and go see what Elisha did. His servant seen the Assyrian army and said, yo, it's more of them than us. And then Elisha turned and prayed to the Lord, and the Lord opened the servant's eye. And when the servant looked up, he seen horsemen, man, but not real horse, because horse represents power. I'm about to just read it. Y'all got me excited. Hold on. Y'all got me excited. Let me just read it. They'll be like, this man bugging. This man bugging. Right? That's why it says the world and the people are doomed. Because when the nukes get hit off, Yahushai and his angels are going to come at the same time, man. Right? Where is it at? This is 2 Kings chapter 6. And starting at verse 15, it says, and when the servant of the man of God, talking about Elisha, was risen early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compassed the city both with horses and chariots. This is physical horses and chariots. These are the Assyrians riding on real horses and chariots in the ancient time. It says, and his servants said unto him, at last, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So it's only Elisha, his servant. So who is Elisha talking about? Is more of us than them. What is he talking about? Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes and that he may see. And Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Don't it says in the scriptures, Yahweh is a consuming fire? So who is he talking about? He's talking about the angels. The angels are in a chariot. Horse represents power, right? So it's multiple. It's multiple angels in chariots. In there, in the spirit, Elisha and the servant was able to see him. The Assyrians, when you keep reading, the Assyrians don't see him. When we go to the mulberry tree, the mulberry tree. Let's see what the Lord tell David near the mulberry tree. Y'all got to know those orbs that's in the sky. Those is the angels, right? It's another one where what was it? Uh, it's gonna come. It's gonna come back to me. Even Ronald Reagan said we're gonna have to fight against people that's not from Earth. What was he talking about? Guess what? If the elect of the nation of Israel come back into the faith and they start to get this understanding, you don't think the higher up elites don't know this? Go to Judith, the 5th chapter, read 17 all the way to 24. How are they keeping us in sin? They got women half naked. They're pushing the LGB. They put pork in everything because they understand that we can't do unrighteousness. If we do unrighteousness, the Lord is not with us. Revelations 11:11. When we start getting the breath of life, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the high elites start getting scared. They're scared right now, man. People really don't understand. Y'all, like, people really think that those is aliens. That just shows that this wasn't for them. Make it make sense. How can somebody say they believe in God? Oh, these is aliens, bro. No, those ain't angels. Those is aliens. Do you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God, but those is aliens. Make that make sense. Show me in the scriptures where the Lord says he gonna have aliens invading earth. And the word alien means foreigner. So yes, the angels is foreign to this earth. I mean, to us they is, but literally they are not, you know. So I'm gonna show you another one that the Lord was in a chariot. This is 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 23. And when David inquired of Yahweh, he said, thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind him, and then come upon them over against the mulberry tree. Wait, hold on. Because I know some of y'all ain't gonna comprehend this. So let me just read it in the NLT to make it more plain for every man and female, so you can fully grasp what I'm reading right now. So this 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 23 in the NLT. It says, and again, David asked Yahweh what to do. Do not attack them straight on, Yahweh replied. Instead, circle around behind and attack them near the popular tree, the mulberry trees. When you hear a sound like marching feet in the tops of the mulberry trees, be on the alert. That will be the signal that Yahweh is moving ahead of you to strike down the Philistine army. So David did what Yahweh commanded, and he struck down the Philistines all the way from Gibeon to Gaza. So in verse 24, the Lord told him, he said, you're going to hear a sound of marching feet on the top of the mulberry trees. So be on alert and hear the signal of the Lord moving ahead of you. That was the chariot bottom brushing through the trees. Like, wow, like people really don't, like, man, it's crazy, bro. Wait, what did he just say? Some brother just said, oh, wait, hold on. He just said, even the two bears mauling the 42 boys to death. Yup. Elisha prayed, what Elisha threw curses in the name of the Heavenly Father and the Son. And a spirit hit those damn bears and they tore them kids up. Should we teach the children this story from the prophet? Like, heck yeah. You should teach them every every part of Elijah. Actually, you should teach him everything. You know, one of my oldest daughter, 13, right now, she no when Hanukkah came, she was reading Maccabees. You know, I know he in Elijah. I know he healed the boy. He he did something else to some woman. I can't remember all of it in the top of my head though. Hold on. Let's just finish this, right? So now y'all got the understanding of those as chariots. Now I can keep making this video longer to show you that even with the nukes and the chariots that's going to come from the Lord, they're going to be part of the destruction that's going to happen to this earth with America and Israel. They're going to be shooting lasers like fire from the chariots. Now I don't know if all of y'all know. I think you can go on YouTube and look up, type in a UFO shooting down a rocket. A UFO shooting down a rocket, and of course, some people don't want to look it up. It's on a radar scan. UFO shooting down a rocket. Okay, I see a couple videos. Yeah, I see a couple videos. Yeah, so on your own time, look up the video of a UFO shooting down a rocket. I got the other one right here. This is on a radar. I can't show everybody on a joint, but you got to do a diligent search because the Lord is showing signs to the true believers, right? If you're not a true believer, everything I'm saying or the things that's in the scriptures, you won't get it. You know, right? So now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon and the G&T. I'm gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, verse 23, because we said when we went to verse 16 in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, it said there would be great political turmoil in one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And while one group is trying to overpower, they push that lewdness, right, or unrighteousness in the earth, right? That's what makes a kingdom fall, right? Um, So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, verse 23 in the GNT, it says, great windstorms will blow them away like straw. Lawlessness will be the ruin of the whole world. Evil actions will cause governments to fall, right? And this is why you're from left to right, you're hearing things from ever since 2020, even years before that, but 2020, America just been on a shit show ever since what's his name, Cat Williams said what he said in the beginning of 2024. The whole 2024 been epic, right? How much more is going to be for 2025? You got Donald Duck back in the office. You know what I'm saying? You had Joe Lyon where he was going to go back and try to be a president, and then he said he was going to step down and then let Kamala. Shit is really getting real, right? We're in a time of inflation right now. Right now, they pushed a law in New York where they said there's no such thing as divorce anymore. I mean, there's no such thing as adultery in New York right now. So if you're legally married and you commit adultery, your wife can't divorce you for adultery, or she can't try to say, hey, I want to split money because he committed adultery, because they passed a bill on it. They even passed a bill that teachers have consent to transition your son or your daughter to be a lesbian or to be a Fruit Loop fruit roll up. They have consent to do this, right? What's other things, right? They said we can't say anything about, binary. If a person's saying that they a cat, they a cat. This place is a lawless place. But better yet, I'm gonna try to give you a verse just to show you even more how lawless this place is, because it all starts with the ruler. Whoever the ruler is, it all falls on him. Whoever sits at that table of rulership. That's the book of the three holy children. The book, the prayer of Azariah, is only one chapter. Now I'm gonna go to the first to one verse, which is verse 9. It says, "And now wait, no, verse 8, Salaki. It says, "And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of God, into an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world." Right? This is why the earth is in lawlessness, especially America, is because the Lord have given us to a people that is lawless, right? And a God-forsaken nation, you know, and that's why Esau has no room for repentance, you know. So back to Second Ezra 15:17, there will no longer be free access to the cities, right? That's in the GNT. Let's see how it says in the KJV. It's not going to be no access in the cities. This is in the time of Jacob's trouble. We're not in Jacob's trouble just yet. This is part of the prophecies. You know, why the church? Why people that say that they believe in the Lord? Why they not bringing these things out? Right? Everybody think that America is going to be the running shop for another 15 years. The brother got a precept. I'm about to. I'm gonna get your precept too. This is Second Ezra 15:17 in the KJV. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." That's in Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30:7, and Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. A man is going to desire to go into another city and won't be able to. For real, for real. Look, I try to teach my household as much as I can. Don't get comfortable here. Micah 2:10. This is not your rest. Depart. We have to depart spiritually and mentally before we get that physical departure, through Hamashiach Yahushai. The brother put Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 3. "And unwise kings destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." Right? An unwise king destroyeth his people. That goes with Proverbs 29:2. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. This is what it reads. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Right? It's people mourning. Right? It's a page on YouTube called the Hopeful Elect 3. Every video you go to is individuals making a video on saying this is terrible, or the voting, or man, I've been working this full-time job and taxes, or I live in a city where I pay $1,100 in rent. I've been living at the same spot. Now my rent went up. Everybody in the United, it's so many people complaining about this place and about the whole world, man. You got people giving up on America. You got people giving up on governments, and then they'll even say, people say, if you complain about America, why won't you leave? Even if you leave, how you know it's going to be even better? World War III is going to happen regardless. Guess what? You could leave for a year and then try to come back. It's going to still get worse, regardless whatever you do. So I'm gonna get one more. So, like, I'm gonna get one more just to line up with that one verse we just brought out. Second Esdras, the 16th chapter. Because if a man is desiring to go into a city and won't be able to go, that's like I Am Legend. You know, he was the only one in that city driving around, always thinking nobody's around. But imagine, you know, you trying to go to the next city and you can't even go, right? What is that? I was watching. Is it? I think it's Arrow. Is it Arrow? No, it's Gotham, and it's I forgot what season it is, but they cut off the entrance or the exit of Gotham, and nobody can get in and nobody could get out. You know, but it's gonna be worse in it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse in America. This is Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 40. Oh my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Right? When you go look up the word pilgrims, right? Pilgrim goes into the word, actually, we can go look it up right now. He said, be pilgrims in the earth. You know, an example of a pilgrim? A homeless person. That's the example of a pilgrim on the move, living outside, you know, living with nature. You know, you don't have just one place you live in because you're always on the move. In Jacob's trouble, a lot of us ain't going to be established, right? So I'm about to get this word for pilgrim just so that y'all can hear what pilgrim go to. Yep, just like the book of Eli. And yep, that's a real example of being a pilgrim. Oh, Salaki. So pilgrim, if you see it on the screen, pilgrim, a person traveling to a holy place. Shalom. Uh, I don't know what happened. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Wait, hold on. Let me check. I don't know what my computer cut off. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Wait, hold on. Let me check. I don't know what my computer cut off. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So I guess yeah. I can hear all of that now. Okay. So what I'll do is um uh I'll try to bring out the little precepts that I brought out before the dang screen cut off. I don't know what precept we left off on. Um he said the book of Eli. Where did we leave off at? Do anybody know? Um Wisdom of Solomon, second Esdras. We'll just go to second Esdras. What pilgrim is. So I cut off during the time of being a pilgrim. Oh, oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. Salaki. And it's gonna be a huge gap when this video uploads. So hey, it was all the Lord. So again, it said in verse 40, second Esdras chapter 16, verse 40, "Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." Now, I'm gonna just show this the etymology of the word pilgrim. See, and I think that was the spirit. Just because before I would be mad that happened, but it had to be the spirit because when you go into this word pilgrim, the brother Yarmayan put me onto it one day, and I'm like, yeah, well, I gotta use that. And look how the spirit moved to bring it out. When you go into the word pilgrim, a person traveling to a holy place as a penance or to discharge some vow or religious obligation or seeking some miracle or spiritual benefit. Also a traveler, generally a wayfarer, right? That's what a pilgrim is, man. Well, even more like the elder Apostle Tahar said, the Crusades was Jake. Look, a pilgrim, a crusader, a foreigner, a stranger, right? But the main point, a pilgrim is a person traveling to a holy place. What holy place in this time where you're going to be a pilgrim? You're traveling. You're traveling to get to Yahushai, not on land. You're going to keep moving however the Lord move you until Yahushai beam you up. You're gonna go through suffering. Shoot, you might be walking and it's raining and you don't got no umbrella. You might have to sit under a tree. You might have to be near a rock cave. You might have to make something out of nothing just to endure, you know. So that's a beautiful point for the word pilgrim, that it is a person traveling to a holy place. Lord willing, we are of that number, right? So Lord willing, y'all can add that to your collection. Let's get second Esdras, the 16th chapter, verse 18 in the GNT. Oh yeah, let me hurry up and get this before something happens. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 18. In the GNT, it says, troubles will come and many people will groan. Famine will come and many will die. Wars will come and the world powers will tremble. Disasters will come, right? The world power is the elites. They're going to tremble, right? The first powers, they're going to tremble at seeing Yahushua. But when those news drop and they can't do nothing about it, oh man, it's going to be a great sight, man. What is going to be great? It says disasters will come and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? Right? Call on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Patiently wait on Hamashiach Yahushai. That's Revelations. That's Revelations 14 and 12. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. It says, here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushua. This is what they're going to do. They're going to be patiently waiting. They're going to keep the commandments to the best of their ability, just like we're doing now. But of course, it's going to be even harder in Jacob's trouble. But it's going to be hard. Deuteronomy chapter 29, I believe verse 7, but I will read verse 1 down, where in the wilderness, we was in the wilderness for 40 years, and we was wearing the same clothes, and they didn't get bust down. I think Deuteronomy chapter 8 in the NLT, it tells you that we was wearing the same clothes and the same sandals, and our feet didn't swell up. You know, we got to depend on Yahweh Shem Yahushai in that day and in that time, right? So Lord willing, let's get Amos chapter 8, verse 11, because even more in that day, you won't be able to hear the prophets prophesying unless you with one of the men of the Lord, you sisters or you brothers, you know, unless you're around them. Amos, the 8th chapter, we're going to read verse 11 and 12. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Shemashai power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh Shemashai. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh Shemashai, and shall not find it. We were seeing other verses where a man will try to travel in the city and won't be able, you know, to get to that city. So this time has to be before that time. You know how crazy it's gonna be when you can't find a word, and you're gonna be so butthurt, like, dang, where is they, man? I remember they was here, right? And well, man, they was here, but the Lord is gonna remove us. Ezekiel 33, man, he gonna close our mouths, and you ain't gonna be able to hear this word. No, anybody not trying to take hold of this right now, that's what you get. That is what you get. So, like, family, I don't know. So this is Second Ezra chapter 15, and I'm gonna read verse 19. This is in the GNT. It says, driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. When you go in the KJV, it says neighbors will basically spoil their goods, and you see it just said possessions. When you go into the word goods, or when you go into Sirach 36, I believe 24, it tells you when a man get a wife, he get it for possession. So a man's wife, his daughter, is his possession. They're under his rulership. His food, his car, his gasoline, those are your possessions that they're going to spoil. But for your woman to be your possession to be spoiled, they're going to ravish, rape your woman, your daughter. But that's not for the elect's sake, right? I highly doubt the Lord is going to do that, to the elect men and his wife, or the woman that believe in this thing, and she's with a husband that didn't believe. In that time he might believe. Is really going to, the 2/3, the ones that are wicked, they're going to have it way worse. The Lord is going to protect you through the things like that. The men of the Lord saying here, and his wife is getting defiled, and that the Lord might have your husband have spiritual powers, and he might toss that brother. I don't know. But when you look at this is really for the ones that don't truly believe, man, right? Because the verse that we read earlier, what are we going to do in that day? You're going to, 2nd Ezra 16:18, you're going to be calling on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. People are going to be trusting in his name, and the Lord cares for his elect. On this side, especially coming in the knowledge, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not allowing the elect lady or the elect daughter get raped, or the son, because there's going to be some fruit McNugans in that day too. The Lord not going to allow his elect sons and daughters to be touched in that sinful way. And again, Lord willing, we have that number, because if you're not, you're going to have it way worse on this side. Again, that's why the title of this lesson is The World and the People Are Doomed, right? You don't want to be the ones that's going to suffer the missiles or suffer getting ravished, right? If your house get broken into, you could call on the Lord, and the Lord might put a wall of protection around you where the enemy don't even see you. Miracles are going to happen in the day of Jacob's trouble, in the day of the MOTB, in the day when Yahushua is here. Miracles, wonders, even in this time we're in right now. So the 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 17 to 18, it says, "Woe is me, which is doom is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?" Hamashiach Yahushai, because his name is He Saves and He Delivers. When you go into the word salvation, the interlinear of the homology of salvation, it means deliverance. That's a question. Yahushai is going to deliver us, right? But in that day, we're going to be so scared, but the ones in faith, they're going to know this answer. The ones that don't, they're going to think it's a president, it's a rich person. They're not going to think, oh God, please help. This whole time you wasn't trying to seek the Lord. You think he going to come and save you? It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? We're going to be praying to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. If you are of that number, you're going to be calling on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'm going to get you another side precept, right? Because the Lord in that, the children in that day is going to be known. Actually, let me go back down. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 16th. We're in 2nd Ezra, 16th chapter. But let's go to verse let's go to 73. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh Shema Shai, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." That's your answer. Yahweh Shema Shai said he's going to deliver us. It says, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide," right? Because he might not come right away. He might not do this right away. So we got to make sure through every situation, like I said, somebody might break in your house, and it could be an Edomite or however. You don't want to doubt. You want to call on the name of the Lord. Even if they do see you, they could be pointing a gun. You're going to call on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You're going to be saying, like I've been saying this today, you're going to be saying, hey, if the Lord gave you the order to do that in the heavens, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I accept it. You got to start practicing, because nobody can do nothing. Nobody can do anything unto you unless it was sanctioned by the Heavenly Father in the heavens. Remember that nobody can do anything to you unless it was sanctioned in the heavens. If the Lord sanctioned it in the spirit, it's going to happen. You're going to get your ass popped. You know, if it's sanctioned in the heaven, they're going to cut your head off because you don't want to take the charagma. But if it's not sanctioned, you're going to be on a run. You're going to be moving. You're going to be ducking and dodging. But it's all by Yahweh Shema Shai. So don't doubt, you know. Um, what was another one? What was I going to get? Uh, then they shall know who are my chosen, and they should be tried. I think I forgot. I was getting a little too excited. So in that day, the chosen is going to be known in that day. You know. Oh yeah, I got it. See, I knew it was going to come back. Ezekiel 9:4. I'll let this, Lord willing, this will be my last one. I'm sorry that the video cut off. I'm sorry I probably went too long. I know Israel got a short attention span and they might not even watch this because it's so long. But you know, the precepts I had, it was supposed to be short, but you could be talking and other precepts come to mind. So Salaki. But Lord willing, it was edifying. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. It says, and Yahweh Shema Shai said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right. And while brothers is teaching daily on the highways and byways and doing sit downs through the spirit, people are getting marked. Right. The men of the Lord through the spirit is marking you, and the heavenly angels is marking you. Because what we just read in 2nd Ezra 16, in that day, the chosen is going to be known. Not the ones called, because everybody is called, but the chosen is going to be known. So the chosen are going to have this mark. When you go look it up in homology, I think it says Twav or Tav, T-A-V or T-A-W-V. That mark is a spiritual mark, and it says a mark, a mark of exemption from judgment. This is not the mark from the charagma, right? Let me see. Let's make God true and every man a liar. So I could just show you this and then I'll let you guys go. Lord willing. So Ezekiel, and anybody that's that be watching when brothers bring out the charagma, hey, you want to keep this in your arsenal too, because we look up the same word, M-A-R-K, but this is in the Old Testament, and you're going to see that this is a different mark from Revelations 13. So you can't compare this mark to the mark of Revelation 13 because they're two different ones. So this is what it is. Yep, T-A-W-V. So it's Tav, desire mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. So you should be praying. You should be adding this in your prayer. Ask Yahweh Shem Shai, to guide you to pursue that desire mark, the mark of exemption from judgment. Ask the Lord to continue to allow you to grow because you want to grow. You don't want to be stagnant while the world is still in motion. You want to be in motion for Yahweh Shem Shai. Doing your due diligence. The more you occupy, you work, you're taking care of home, and then you're adding, okay, I'm gonna watch these videos. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna read me a chapter. And you're not really doing it because somebody told you, which is good, especially for a husband or a parent trying to order their house. but you're doing it for yourself to show that you have faith. Then, let alone, especially for a woman or a brother or a kid, you're trying to be a reflection of somebody else seeking the Lord. Because to be a child of the Lord, you want to know. To be a child of the Lord, you want to get right. To be a child of the Lord, you want to wear out Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. What is it? Isaiah 62, verse 6 and 7. Give the Lord no rest. So every time you reading, every time you praying, you fasting, not just fasting. When you fast, you really, it's not about let me just sleep the whole time. It's not just only about watching a spiritual movie, because most cases that spiritual movie got things taken out of it. Yeah, you watch that and you get some, but when you really affecting is when you're reading, or if you're hearing the word, or you're going over your notes, you're meditating over a precept and just meditating on it, meditating, probably crying on it, thinking about it, right? That's where you really afflict yourself. When you fast, like most of us brothers, when we fast, brothers is doing lessons. You afflicting the whole body because you want to eat. But the more lessons you do, the more you flow. Your mind is just paying attention to teaching. You ain't thinking about no social media. You ain't thinking about the house, right? Before you teach, you probably reading a chapter, boom, boom, boom. You might meditate. You might walk around the house and say, I read Romans chapter 12. Oh, it said this and this and that. Oh man, Yahweh Shema, you're so great. Oh, da 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 da, boom, boom, boom. You want to afflict your flesh into hearing spiritual things. Because if you desire this mark, you want to do things that's pleasing Yahweh Bashem Yahushai while he's in the heaven looking down, while the angels is above. Some of them you can see and some of them you can't see. Psalms 34, verse 7. You want to be a pleasing sight to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, So again, Lord willing, this is edifying to the hopeful elect, whoever you may be, man or woman. Lord willing, you make your call and election sure. Lord willing, we are of that number. And again, Salaki for the cutoff of the video. And Lord willing, it was edifying to some degree. With that, Shalom. Shalom.